Yes, good, thank you. Having a wild berry candy. I can read the ingredients to you if you want. The writing is really small. Get the English language here. I don't think they have the ingredients in English. Oh, yeah, right here. Ingredients: glucose syrup, sugar, fruit juice concentrate, raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, citric acid, coloring, plant extracts. Oh, they use plant extracts. It has black carrot. Oh, that's a good idea. Black carrot, beetroot, natural flavorings, corresponds to 5% fruit juice, may have traces of milk, keep in a cool and dry place, made in Germany, best before sea bottom. Oh, this is good till next year, June 26, 2027. These are so good.
Says, if you saw any Gazans, did they appear malnourished? The ones I saw didn't appear malnourished. But again, they're the ones that are working at the place where all the food is. So I wouldn't expect them to. How much aid is the UN refusing to deliver? At least half of all the aid that's currently at the correctional crossing.
Yeah, did you hear him say, like, some of the stuff he was witnessing? How one of the women that came up to him, she had her son in her hands, and while he looked emaciated and they were trying to say that was a starving child, he said, come to find that it was the child had a flesh-eating disease or something, or a muscle-eating disease. Yeah, not to say people aren't starving. I think he's just, him and others, there are other ones too that talk about how a lot of it's fake or old. Yeah, and then the ones who are actually being deprived, you want to put that in the proper distribution category. Yeah, because there are people that they are depriving of a lot of those things. What was that look for? I don't know. I always find that question so funny. What was that look for? Spin away. Yeah. No, just when they connect that, I think they're saying it's all Hamas. Well, those are the ones that they order. not necessarily control it, but, and then they don't have a choice. They gotta listen to who's paying and, yeah, giving them a job or whatever else it is. Yeah, exactly. Alright, so I guess we're gonna start a full read. We just read, we finished Calvary and the Mass. Yeah, we just did our full read on Calvary and the Mass. Do you like that book? I like that book. And then Van on Being Human, we're gonna do a full read on that. Well, we already started it, but we're gonna start over, I guess. Alright, you don't want me to start over? (1933). Page 20. Again, there is an anthropocentricity in the doctrine of St. Thomas which loses nothing by its dependence on the relation of man to God, in whom all things find their end and purpose. The universe as a whole is made up of all creatures, as the whole is made up of its parts. But if we wish to assign an end to any whole and to its parts, we shall find that the particular parts are designed for their respective actualities. As the eye is made for seeing, that the less noble part is designed for the more noble. As the senses are made to minister to the understanding, or the lungs to the heart, and that all the parts are designed for the perfection of the whole, as the matter is for the form. Inasmuch as the parts are, as it were, the material of the whole, and that all the parts are designed for the perfection of the whole, as the matter is for the form, inasmuch as the parts are, as it were, the material of the whole. But further, the whole man is designed for some intrinsic end, say that he may have fruition of God, so that in the parts of the universe, each creature is designed for its own proper actuality and perfection. The less noble are designed for the more noble, as the creatures lower than man are designed for him, and the whole universe with all its parts is designed for God, has its end, inasmuch as in them is reflected by a sort of mirroring the divine goodness, the glory of God. While further, God has his end in a special sense, inasmuch as he can attain to him by knowledge and love, and has for the completion to which humanism looks, has its ideal and the aspect of symmetry, under which that completion is envisaged. I can never say that. Envisaged. I'm trying. You make it look so easy. Envisaged. I'm trying. It is fun to It is fundamental to the entire Thomas system. Every creature is designed for its own proper actuality and perfection, and in the creature every part is made for its own actuality in the symmetry of the higher actuality of a whole. Good question someone is asking. Okay, God has his end in a special place, inasmuch as he can attain to him by knowledge and love to the glory of God, the divine goodness, a sort of mirroring, reflected by a sort of mirroring. Do as I say, but not as I do. Don't do what I would do, or what I wouldn't do. Knowledge and love. Knowledge and love. Without that, you're an unconscious thing, right? Pretty much, I guess. I don't know. No regard, yeah. Right. For what? Human life, anything. Who knows? Yeah, someone was talking about that earlier too. We may have actually heard it on this, yeah? Yeah, it was saying they'd rather let millions of Gazans die than acknowledge the truth. And they'll try to justify that by any means. You got a lot of activists and state workers, actors, antagonists. They have a lot of help, huh? And it can be very frustrating, and you just have to love and understand that they're unaware. It's hard to not get angry at those things and yell. You definitely never want to get physical. Yeah, violence is never the answer. So getting physical, yeah, sometimes if you have to restrain someone that's out of control or putting others in danger with erratic behavior, they could be slinging around something. Right, exactly. So it's good to know proper, safe restraint mechanisms. We try to really instill that in people. That was a big part of our training back in the day, the programs and rehabs. Just as far as too, when people are in environments where there's a lot of unaware people, alcoholics, drug addicts, just violent people, you say the wrong thing, right? So if someone smacks you or hits you, you don't have to restrain them, they just gave you a whatever, right? So you just gotta take it, right? Whose word is it? Who's listening? Right. So just those things help people understand on an overall scale. Hopefully we're trying to help the public systems, Western medicine, humanity as a whole, really. Public education, really important. Open discussion. People seem so fake. It's almost impossible to talk to a lot of those people. It's really hard to ask them any questions, but they sure like to ask a lot of questions. And the questions they ask, just so you know, a lot of the questions that you ask, yeah, it just completely shows your lack of awareness. To even ask those questions to a lot of us just shows you're completely unaware. Yeah. And that you're usually gunning for something. What are you trying to find? Johnny's starving. Sally's getting beat. My 2 kids are next door in the hands of a sick, murderous pedophile. What's that now? You want names of who did what, when, where, why, for what reason? Are you trying to dig up dirt on someone to help another? Yeah, I know. We see this all the time. It's very sad and disturbing. So you do the best you can to take it on the chin, not get upset and frustrated at people's ignorance and stupidity, maniacal, vindictive games, misallocations. Oh my gosh, you begin to scratch the surface, yeah? Yeah, some are trying to surface, right? Some are scratching at the surface, trying to get down into the depths and the dark, and the ones down in the depths and the dark are trying to swim up. Like, what are you doing? Oh, good, they're digging a hole for us. That'll make it easier. That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny. So true. Right, some want to pluck out the weeds and burn them. Some want to shine lights on them. Look at those weeds. And see them as a positive, not a negative. Right, whether you leave them there or you're weeding the garden, you're getting some exercise, you're out in nature. Use it to your advantage always. Life is beautiful, you know. To even have the capability to pull weeds. You're welcome. I'm good, thank you. Oh yeah, when you realize those are the people you're dealing with, they would rather let people die and protect their dogs and their drugs as opposed to letting this stuff get out. To each their own. All we can do is keep spreading the awareness and hope the proper authorities here do whatever they can. We're not sure what that's, going to look like or already happening. Yeah, these are coffee shop situations. It's nothing new. I mean, it might be new to you because you're experiencing it. Yeah. I'm only watching it. I get my kicks above the waistline, honey. Hopefully. Yeah. Where were we? Alright. Has for the completion to which humanism looks has its ideal, and the aspect of symmetry which under that completion is envisioned. It is fun. Now I added an N to it. I'm trying to say it. No. Envisioned. Envisioned. Envision. There's no. Envisioned. Envisioned. Did I say it? That sounded close. Envisioned. It is fundamental to the entire Thomas system. Every creature is designed for its own proper actuality and perfection. And in the creature, every part is made for its own actuality in the symmetry of the higher actuality of a whole. Completion, entelechy, E-N-T-E-L-E-C-H-Y. That's a cool word. Entelechy. E-N-T-E. Put that on the crossword. We'll do E's today. Entelechy. Completion, entelechy, is that for which immediately every man and every part of man is made. All the overemphasis, compound word, overemphasis, therefore the consecration on one part in its perfection to exclusion of others, which humanism decries, Thomism decries also, and the ultimate completion which humanism on the purely natural plane must lack, that completion the Thomas outlook supplies.
that completion the Thomist outlook supplies. It is not something less than humanism, as the non-Christian understands it. It is infinitely more, and more in the human's own sense, a fullness which, on his own principles and aspirations, he must welcome, for it is their ultimate realization. If this is so, then the humanism, which in general has been described in terms of the love of beauty, a human completion and symmetry, of the primary importance of man, will find its fullest expression and its own completion in the outlook which includes the love of beauty on the plane both of the natural and of the supernatural, which aspires to the completion of man in symmetry on both these planes, and views him as the end for which all earthly creation is designed, though destined with it for God, the end of all things, in mirroring his beauty, and destined further himself to find his last completion in the ultimate realization of the vision of God.
Around taking pictures, having a great time. So, yeah, it's full of tourists now. The people that we gave the backpack and the toys to went up back home. Most of them went to Kiryat Shimona. I was just in Kiryat Shimona a couple days ago, and it is coming back to life. It's coming back to life. It's doing well. Nicholas Dupree says, is the IDF censors to control the narrative or for the safety of troops? It's for the safety of troops. They do not tell us what we can say, what the spin needs to be, or anything like that. They're only concerned with us showing things that would put troops at risk. Good question, Nicholas. Okay, Brian says, we've heard all that before. The better question is, why is there still Hamas after 2 years of this? Because there's a lot of them. You got 2.5 million people, and basically all of them support Hamas. I mean, there are a bunch that are tired of the war and would be happy to sacrifice Hamas if the war would end. But for the most part, they're still harboring the hostages. They're still harboring the Hamas fighters.
Right? Thailand launches airstrikes on Cambodian military targets. Deadly border. It's a deadly border dispute escalating.
Is that Israel figures out a way to allow Gazans to start leaving of their own free will. And as more and more starting to leave, then more who are in Gaza will say, oh, that sounds like a better idea than what I'm doing. And they'll leave too. And as those Gazans leave, then Hamas has less control over the people. And the people who are left will be easier for the IDF to work around to wipe out the rest of Hamas. That would be the ideal. Maricopa Joe says, a recent study shows 25% of Gazans are obese. From what I've seen, does that sound right? I don't think it's correct anymore. That was likely the case before the war started. And all in all, the Gazans that I've seen, both in person and on video, is coming out that's shot by Gazans, coming out of the strip. It shows people who are healthy, a healthy weight. You don't see many people who are underweight, that's for sure. I think most people are pretty healthy at this point. Question, who's searching the A truck for weapons? The IDF is. That's from Vivian Steck. Guns Blazing says, why is Qatar hosting Hamas leaders? Doesn't that make them complicit in all this? Yes, it does make them complicit in all this. And they're doing it because they support Hamas. They're just trying to look like they don't. Sledge says, do you think Israel will agree to withdrawals? No, they will not. Kevin says, where's Oscar now? He went back home to Mexico. Bernadette Aragolis says, who elected Hamas to the government of Gaza? The people of Gaza did. AJ Ward said, now you could say that there's some doubt about whether or not that election was free and fair, but suffice it to say, Gaza did.
Good, thank you. We're gonna keep reading. What was that question you asked me before? Oh, okay, God, mirroring God and the meaning of God stuff. Yeah, how there's so many when you. It's like flipping a coin. Yeah. What's deciding? The coin. Who's the judge in your neighborhood? Who's the dictator in your household? If there is one, who knows, right? You might not see it that way. Love can be tough, huh? It's tough love. That can look a lot different too, no? I guess it all depends. So who is the decider? Who, I mean, are there people that could starve you if they decided to? Who's in control? How old are you? Where are you at? Do you have communication with the outside world? I don't know. Glory be to God. Right, so when you understand that, it's yeah, exactly. I mean, you could say everyone is God, everything is God, God is life itself. Yes. It's beautiful, it's good. Flower. No, that's not flower. That's a flower. Well, no, this is flower too. They don't know what they're talking about. Blasphemy. How dare you call that flower? This is a flower. You disrespect these beautiful flowers. Surmount them. Compare them to white powder that does nothing but make beautiful bread. The knowledge to know how to make the bread. Is someone willing to teach you how to do that, or is it necessary? Maybe you have a local bakery and they do all the baking and you can just go buy a fresh loaf of bread. Right? Good stuff. Oh, I like it. Sounds good. Oh, and that was the Q class, yeah, CUE. Compassion, understanding, and empathy. Yes. is it good for, really? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Whoa. Right. The jazz cats. I like them. Right, so see how you can say whatever you want. It's beautiful, awesome. Now, if you were to start in with God is some mystical being from thousands of years ago that gave light, and yeah, we might say, sorry, I can't agree with that, but you have a right to feel that way, and I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. You have a beautiful day. Right? The wrath of God, the love of God, be in anything at all. A rock, a person, are they showing you love, compassion, understanding, caring? Right, to say to someone, yeah, you know what, you can go ahead, have a beautiful day. That's showing compassion, understanding. Now, if I were to say, you know what, that's bullshit, people like you need to shut up. We're so sick of people with your childish beliefs putting poison in the kids' heads. Get out of here. That's not very loving, is it? So you respect people's beliefs, and if someone says something like that, then alrighty then. Happens. It happens, yeah. And when people literally kill each other over that stuff. Or, right, and a lot of the powers that be that orchestrate or control a lot of those groups, such as Hamas or other radical groups, the Bloods and the Crips, yeah. Back to the 90s again. Yeah. Right, exactly. A lot of times, yeah, they kind of understand those things and don't believe the silliness themselves, but they depend on others believing that stuff so they can send them off to faraway lands or nearby, fighting their wars, attacking people, killing people, protecting certain things, lines of operation, who knows? Yeah, exactly. So when you see that, it just kind of helps maybe to calm the airwaves a little bit. I don't know. The frequency. Sure. I mean, why give yourself agitation over such things? Right, so regardless of what, you go ahead and believe whatever you want, stick whatever you want in whatever hole you want, suck whatever you want, dress the way you want, you do whatever you want. If it goes above and beyond, like if you walk into a certain place naked, you probably get arrested for public indecency. No shirt, no shoes, no service. Notice we don't have those signs much anymore, but they used to have to do it till people kind of caught on to the common sense. A lot of it's insurance purposes, yeah. Don't want to scare away other customers. It could attract some, right, depending. Place and a time, huh? I don't know. Right, what's indecent exposure over there and probably gets you fined or something. makes you money over there in that place. Alright, so just like anything else, just have a common understanding of that. We're trying to bring awareness and understanding to our children in the hands of sick murderers, pedophiles who tried to kill us. Okay, so regardless of what you believe, what you wear, what you want to do, I don't care. Gay, transgender, Catholic, Jewish, Arab, Muslim. Doesn't really matter. Have you ever read the Diamond Sutra? You might like that. Or just kind of skim through it maybe. Some have highlighted stuff from the Diamond Sutra. You might like that. I believe it's one of the oldest books ever documented on record. Yeah, it's China, right? From China. I'm not an expert. I don't really retain too much. Good, thank you. Sanskrit. What does the Diamond Sutra say? It's a key text in Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana, thank you. A text in the Mahayana Buddhism emphasizes the illusionary nature of phenomenon and the importance of transcending attachment to them, particularly through understanding emptiness and cultivating wisdom. It teaches that all things lack inherent existence and that liberation comes from realizing this truth and acting without attachment. Well, I guess reading class is done. That about sums it up, I guess. Want some muffins? I'm making soup. I have my broth going right now, and then I'm going to add stuff to it. Have you ever cut up hard-boiled eggs in your soup? I think it's really good. I put water, of course, salt, some cumin, some nutmeg, some turmeric, some of the potato slayer, a little bit of, let's see, what else did I put? Oh yeah, some balsamic, a little balsamic gives it a nice kick. What else? Ooh, the poppy seed jalapeno. We put some of the poppy seed jalapeno. Have you tried that stuff? I like it. Oh, a little bit of honey. Yeah, we put just a little bit of honey. Stir it all up. You can add other stuff if you want. It's really never the same. It's like having something new every time. I mean, some of the staples, right, can be the same. Right? Take broccoli, for instance. Right? You can, depending on the seasoning, it's a different flavor every time. Nice broccoli soup. You can go more like, yeah, creamy style broccoli. You like coconut curry? That's good. Coconut curry broccoli soup. That sounds good. Ooh, that would be really good for productivity. Yeah, that's a good idea. We just have the broth warming for now. We're not really sure what we're going to add to it.
We might have some of that codfish too. This stuff is good. I love the codfish. Have you ever had sweet and sour cod? It sounds weird, but it's good. Extend. Taking some nice slow breaths. What was my favorite stretches? If I had to suggest, would it be for what? Anything special? Just for general health? Wow, no one's ever asked that. What kind of stretch would we suggest just for general health in general? Probably the bicentennial formation, bicentennial man. Yeah, those are really good. Arms straight up. There you go. It's good to have. You want to keep your strong core. Very important. You'll notice a big difference. Arm up. Yeah, so the bicentennial, I'd go with that. And then, just kind of go with what you want to stretch. Bicentennial man. Slow breath. See how just going up a little bit? And you can take a few slow breaths at each interval. You can almost feel that, huh? Just doing that, pushing out. Or put your wrists up straight like that, if you can. Move forward, down. Yeah, these work really good. Yeah, so just doing stuff like that with the slow breaths, keeping the core strong. That alone is really good to help. How do you know? Strengthen, release. Strengthen and release, yes. Someone just said strengthen and relieve stress. SARS. That's cute. Like a catchphrase or a catch response. Oh yeah. Oh, have you tried these? These are those copper things you can put on your feet.
I've had these for a while.
Yeah, you just go like over your feet like that. There are these copper bands. It's supposed to be really good for, I don't know, electromagnetic chaos, something.
I really like them.
You can just go on your feet like that. Yeah, I love these. Good, thank you. Really, like if you try to really, really stretch, like as hard as you can. Yeah, don't pull nothing. I know, isn't that funny? If you just like extend like as tight as you can, like doesn't it feel funny if you don't want to do it too long, but then when you release that, it's like it feels so funny for a second. It's like release. 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 Unchain. Release. Get the kinks out of those chains. Sequence. And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you already paid. It's the good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it figures? See, me saying that, that's beautiful. So me saying it's the good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it figures? It's interesting. So you have people that, well, I really, really trust in you and the things you say and do. With those people, I know I don't trust them. For whatever reason, and there are experiences you have around people that give you those kind of feelings. Safe, not safe. Easy, not easy. Right. I feel at ease, relaxed, safe, comfortable. I don't, right. So there are some that might be around you where you feel a little more uncomfortable, less at ease. Yeah. A heightened sense of worry for whatever reason. Right, now, the entities and the things that you really, really trust, I'm trying to translate this the way you said it. The entities that you really, really trust, they're over there, and now one of those entities that you don't trust or put that same kind of emphasis or care into, whatever it is, for whatever reason, they don't deserve your love and attention, so it's okay. This is totally fine. We're not saying do, not do. This is normal human stuff. We're just making an example. Jeez, I know sometimes. Okay, so now one of the things that you don't have trust in for some reason, or you just have a negative opinion of, whatever. Yeah, you just think they're snobby. You trust this thing. Right. Now, the thing you don't have trust in for whatever reason might very well have good information one day to tell you. Right? They might come in and say something
that's a very serious thing you should take seriously, a concern. Right, now the thing that you have trust in says don't listen to them, they're lying. So now you're going to ignore whatever concerns that they have, even if it involves the safety of children, anything. You're not even going to pay attention to it. It's a conspiracy theory, whack job talk. No, they're just trying to accuse good people of things. They're trying to, yeah, I know. Exactly. And then the concerns or whatever it is, it could just be, hey, there's a big sale going on, I bet. Hey, you're going to miss the big sale. Right, even when it comes to liking things, right? If, say, that thing you can't really stand or have trust in, everyone says it's crazy and stupid, they don't like it, get it away. Right, and if, say, right, they like something, or they suggest a certain program, or yoga, or a certain kind of food, like tofu or something. Right, so then if all the things that you like and trust and think are really cool and buy you stuff and tell you you smell pretty, say, all that stuff is disgusting, oh, horrible, it tastes like rotten feet, tastes like armpits. Yeah, right. You almost just repeat those things, right? I'll never forget that. What was that stuff? Oh, when I was diagnosed with Lyme disease and I had started the treatment, someone in one of the health classes I had joined in the local community, it was just like a community thing, someone had suggested Brazil nuts because of the selenium. Yeah, they're like, they eat 2 of those a day. They had Brazil nuts. I was like, what? I didn't even know what they were. I was like, what are those? And they said they were Brazil nuts. One of my favorites now. Really great blended in broccoli soup. Yes, it's a good source of selenium too. Right, so a couple Brazil nuts I think has your daily supply of selenium. You can get selenium in a lot of things. There are supplements and stuff if you don't want to eat the nuts. You don't have to, my goodness. We're just having a conversation here. Right, so I can remember this. You might remember this too. Yeah, so they had said that. I was like, cool. So I went and got me some Brazil nuts. And I was eating the Brazil nuts, and then a couple snobby people in the community, some of the gaslighters and idiots and marketers and people trying to take out my family who have befriended them. Right, and they think they're really cool and they get along just fine. You just don't even bother trying to tell them. Let it roll, because if you do, trust me, we try in the best ways we can. No, I'm just using this as a small example. So they saw, right, one of them was actually at the community group, right? They like to keep an eye on things, and they saw the interaction with the Brazil nuts. True story. They saw the interaction with the Brazil nuts. And then they went ahead to the people around me, some of the people around me, and said specifically to them how gross and disgusting Brazil nuts were. Yeah, and that they tasted like, I don't even want to say it, that they tasted like Entos. Or they looked like Entos. Yes. And I was like, I know, when they saw, because they saw me eating the Brazil nuts, and I was like, right, so come, just so you know, right, the person who saw that interaction at the community center had, right, nothing to do with me or the person having this conversation. They were just listening. And then they go ahead to some people around me that are already being gaslit, that they don't want going along with the treatment I'm doing. Yeah, the doctors I was working with were crazy, charlatans. I mean, if you could, the before and after, they saved my life. It's incredible. I can't believe it. It was a miracle right within the first year. The physical and mental changes and how much better I felt. It was like a new person, and it was like just constant. Man, how incredible. And when it's such simple things, that's cheaper and more affordable than what they're suggesting. For you too, taxpayers. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Right, so then when the person, so then they went to the person and said to them, oh, Brazil nuts are gross, they taste like, or they look like Entos. Why would you even say that to somebody? It's the same loops and groups that used to spread the systemic jokes to my dad, and he would repeat them. Racial shit and stuff, and please don't say that. Say what I want. Freedom of speech, free country. People fought for us to have freedom of speech. Yeah, but that's just ignorant. I'm sorry, anyways, go ahead, whatever. We get the backlash for that? Because then, we're already tagged with the drugs and the child molesters. Add the racism into it, thank you. I know, right? You try to tell them. They don't fucking care, dude. They really don't care. I don't know. Hopefully, they say, just like that, people can have an awakening and humble themselves and want some muffins? Right, so then, it was one of my sisters actually. So then my sister, she saw me eating the Brazil nuts and she repeated the words right out of that person's mouth. We watched it all in slow motion. I'm telling you right now, she sees me eating the Brazil nuts and goes, oh gross, you're eating the Entos. What did you just say? I was just like, you just can't. The stupidity sometimes. I know. Just so when you see how that stuff works and you have these middle people going over here and then going over there and then that thing repeats it, just like the little boy who got beat up in the tub. Right? They're saying things to my mother and others. Little brat probably deserved it. Can't raise sissy boys. Right? She's just going to raise soft, ignorant mama's boys. Not true at all. No. I'm actually, you'd be surprised. We're just nice about it. Yeah, we don't hit them. We don't think that's okay. No, we don't think there's ever any reason to smack anyone for any reason. No. Well, you can shape it up any way you want. Oh, Mickey, what a pity you don't understand. Right, so then when they repeat it, just the fact they said is irritating enough, but how you see how it's spun, it's like, are you a little puppet? Are you a little puppet? And you try to call them out for it, and then they just get pissed at you. And yeah, they're like the popular Jimmy Kimmel crowd who were trying to teach mom about masturbation in her 60s back in 2008. And you're looking at them like, what are you guys doing? Superstars. Teach them a lesson. When you see how all this is spun out within the public systems and the funding and the grant money, I know that shit, it just pisses you off when you have people that repeat and support and ignore certain things. What can you do? But yeah, you saw the same thing happen, and they were all saying that, and then boom, you hear it come out of their mouths. Have you talked to the mother, the little boy? Do you know about that situation at all? Little brat probably deserved it. It was probably just a whack. You just repeated what they said. Yeah, and who said that? I'm pretty sure the Chew that got her repeating that was the sicko's mother next door. and my sister. Yeah, the one that does a lot of the drug trafficking. I'm not talking about actual drugs either. Yeah, her boyfriend was the private investigator who shot himself in 2009. He was trying to tell my parents about the drug trafficking and mentioning the Mayans. Yeah, mom flipped out. Well, she got really sad, thought he was, what was it? They got her thinking he was talking about Mayan curses and lost in a psychosis. Yeah, and the drug traffickers and other people gaslit the crap out of him. And he ended up shooting himself. Right, so when you see them still to this day, they act totally oblivious. No, they're dead set on fixing me and my mental illness and proving how crazy I am, justifying the murder attempts, the child abuse. Yeah, it's insane. But you worry about who kicked a fucking cat, okay? And protecting your drugs. Right, isn't it funny? They protect their drugs and then they have ones that are working to get the drugs off the street, get the cartel family out of here. They're the ones making all the money on it. They don't realize it. It comes in different forms sometimes, the ones that are paying you out, that you're helping along with your bullshit, and you think you're just working hard and selling vitamins or something. Yeah, the ones paying you are profiting. I know, isn't it funny? The money you're making is from the child abuse and the drugs, which are the things you claim to want to stop and put a lot of communities in danger with your tactical teams trying to clean up the drugs. You know, the ones paying you all your money, it's not, you really need to look at that probably. Get your shit together or something, I don't know. Hopefully, we hope so. Alright, we're gonna go finish that. 4:04. 4:04. I hope your mother's not a whore. Much love, health, and peace all.